Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment, where I get to bring you the latest depressing news on World War III. Something I think is actually already happening, even though we're too much of a bunch of sissies to declare it, acknowledge it, try to still do this proxy war BS, which doesn't make us look any better than if we were to actually engage like I don't know, real men. So, anyways, what is going on especially the Eastern Front? The Eastern Front is uh, no, that would be the West. Well, let's see here, Eastern Europe. But then you think of the East, that would be Asia. No, uh, Europe, the European Front. Well, let's see here. Russia test fires supersonic anti-ship cruise missiles off Sea of Japan. Sea of Japan. So I guess this is Asia. Russia's a big country. Russia's military has test fired what its defense ministry is describing as a supersonic missile, launching it into the Sea of Japan on Tuesday. They confirmed in a telegram announcement that its ships off the Pacific Fleet successfully fired two Musket cruise missiles at a mock enemy sea target, hitting the mock warship from a distance of about 62 miles. Crucially, the musket is capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. Yeah, this is what a lot of people are afraid of when it comes to. We seem to think that our aircraft carriers are pretty badass. Like nothing can touch them except these hypersonic missiles. Usually can't be detected by radar. They move what 5 times the speed of sound. They can go at low altitudes, like I don't know, sea level when they're moving, and there's no radar system that would detect these things on their way. So good luck with that. And if you really want to take out a aircraft carrier, I guess a mini nuke would probably do the job. According to details in the AP, the Musket, whose NATO reporting name is the SSN-22 Sunburn. Do we have any missiles? We have Minutemen, but that sounds like old dudes with muskets that can jump on a horse in a minute. Um, they call this the Sunburn. Is a supersonic anti-ship cruise missile that is conventional and that has conventional and nuclear warhead capacity. Nothing we should be concerned about. The Soviet-built cruise missile is capable of flying at 3 times the speed of sound and has a range of up to 250 kilometers or 155 miles. Supersonic is a designation below hypersonic, given the later denotes speeds of at least 5 times the speed of sound. Okay, so this is a slower missile that they just tested that can carry nukes. Japan's foreign ministry said it doesn't intend to protest the missile launch given it occurred near coastal Russia, but a statement still stressed. On the whole, Japan is concerned about Russia's increased military activities around the Japanese coast and watching them with great interest. You have a self-defense force, and you've seen no combat since World War II. I don't think Russia's really concerned with you. I know I like to think that like Japan still has that whole warrior mentality. We're badass samurai and we'll slice a dude in half. But yeah, good luck with that. The announcement comes 1 week after 2 Russian strategic bomber planes capable of carrying nuclear weapons flew over the Sea of Japan for over 7 hours while the Japanese Prime Minister was visiting. The Japanese Prime Minister was visiting Ukraine. Why? Why is the Japanese minister visiting Ukraine? Is Japan part of NATO? Oh, Ukraine's not part of NATO. Why is Japan getting involved in this? Concerning recent rising tensions between Russia and Japan over disputed islands between the two countries, here we go. AP reviews further that in September, Japan protested multinational military exercises on the Russian held Kuril Islands, some of which were claimed by Japan, and expressed concern about Russia and Chinese warships conducting shooting drills in the Sea of Japan. And in addition, Russia also tested submarine launched missiles in the Sea of Japan last year. Wonder what they were getting prepared for. So, yeah, they're testing these things out, which could definitely take out a good portion of our fleet if they were used. That's awesome. And what else did we have here? Oh, here's another sign that the dollar is going to the wayside. France buys 65,000 tons of liquid natural gas from China in first ever yuan denominated trade. So yeah, they're not using the dollar. China has just completed its first trade of liquefied natural gas settled in yuan. The Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange on Tuesday. As oil price notes, the Chinese state oil and gas giant CNOOC and Total Energies completed their first LNG trade in exchange for settlement in the Chinese currency, the exchange said in a statement carried by Reuters. Yeah, so this is another hit to the dollar. And keep in mind, when all of this stuff started happening with, Nord Stream, and Europe was no longer getting that nice flow of natural gas to help heat their houses during the winter, we said that we would supplement that. And we were not able to. So, of course, France is now buying their natural gas from China and continue more of this to happen, considering that now they have exclusive deals with Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia. If you're going to buy stuff, you're probably going to purchase it from China now, and the US is not going to be able to compete. China has been looking for years to establish more trade deals in yuan to increase the relevance of the petro yuan or LNG yuan, as the case may be, on the global markets and challenge US dollar's dominance in international trade, including in energy trade. During a landmark visit to Riyadh in December, Chinese President Xi Jinping said that China and Arab Gulf nations should use the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange as a platform to carry out yuan settlement of oil and gas trades. Goodbye, OPEC. China will continue to import large quantities of crude oil from GCC countries, expand imports of liquefied natural gas, strengthen cooperation in mainstream oil and gas development, engineering services, storage, transportation, and refining, and make use of the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange as a platform to carry out yuan settlement of oil and gas trade, Xi said in December. Still, Beijing has ways to go before it dethrones the greenback as the global reserve. Oh, really? Because last time I checked, France was pretty good old pal of our country, and now they're surpassing the dollar. While the Chinese currency has made inroads in global trade, the yuan accounts for just 2.7% of the market compared to the US dollar's trade of 41%. Yeah, it's a start, okay? Wait until it hits 10% of trade, and then all of a sudden it's just takes off, right? On the other hand, China's currency has lots of momentum. Over the past year, Russia has turned to trade in yuan in the wake of the Western sanctions on its exports, imports, and energy trade, as the Chinese currency has become Putin's only alternative to reduce exposure to the US dollar and the euro. So, yeah, trading is commencing without using the dollar, even when it comes to EU countries, NATO countries. And should we really be surprised? I would say no. But There is one other thing that came up recently, and I want to see if I can find that. Oh, by the way, Russia stopped sharing information about nuclear forces with the US, but then again, we also said that's what we were doing as well. So, yeah, look for some type of accident to happen because they didn't notify us. Well, you didn't say you were going to do that. We thought you were launching on us. Sorry about your whole entire freaking city. Uh, let's see here. No, I don't want that one. Let's close some of these things out because I do want to find if it's still on there. I did not post this, but it was very interesting. It had to do with Zelensky and how he was kind of throwing a bit of a fit about not having real American support. Russian arrest, Wall Street Journal reporter on suspicion of espionage. More war on journalism. So yeah, let's see here. Zelensky, U.S. support. And that should bring it up in news. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. So this is from what the hell kind of website is this? Jerkin Form? JKRIN Form. Okay, we're going to go with that. Zelensky warns change of power in U.S. could weaken support to Ukraine. So this kind of comes off a little better than the one I saw on Zero Hedge. U.S. support for Ukraine could weaken in the case of Republicans coming to power. Oh, darn. Heaven forbid. I thought you were a democracy. Won't you encourage our democracy, Mr. Zelensky, who publicly calls for a reduction in military aid to Ukraine in the war against Russia? Mm-hmm. Zelensky said this is an interview with the Associated Press. Zelensky did not mention the names of former U.S. President Orange Man Bad or any other Republican politicians, figures he might have to deal with if they prevail in the 2024 elections. But he did say that he worries the war could be impacted by shifting political forces in Washington. Oh, darn. The United States really understands that if they stop helping us, we will not win. Last time I checked, that wasn't our fight, dude. Former U.S. President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who are frontrunners for the 2024 presidential race, said the Republican Party said they do not consider confronting Russia's aggression against Ukraine to be in the U.S. interest. So, yeah, we now have Zelensky admitting that they can't win the war unless we keep giving them all kinds of free goodies. You also have Russia moving nuclear warheads to Belarus. Yeah, so that's interesting. You have Moldova and a couple of other countries that are currently experiencing some type of interference in their governments, also known as coups. You've got Leopard tanks that are being handed over to Ukraine, which Putin doesn't really appreciate. Fighter jets, MiG jets. There's speculation we're still going to give F-16s over. There's also the Abrams tanks that we're handing over. There's also the armored personnel carriers that Germany is handing over. We're giving a lot of stuff to Ukraine. I don't know what exactly we're going to get back on this, or the fact that we're funding their pensions. How did that end up being a priority to a country that may no longer exist in a year or two? By the way, can you keep funding our pension program? Really? Because see, I have this uncle that he retired from GM. He was in one of those positions where he had been there. They kind of like nudged him out the door, but as part of the agreement, he only got a fraction of the pension that he had put money into. I don't recall anybody saying that they're going to step in and fully fund the pensions in GM, which again is a U.S. domestic corporation. But for some reason, we'll do it for a foreign country. So, yeah, not a fan of these guys. There's definitely a lot of sketchy stuff going on. I haven't really heard too much about Taiwan lately. That's not to say things aren't happening over there, but definitely a lot of stuff happening over in Europe. And it's things that we should definitely be concerned about, considering that I don't know. I keep hearing notifications that the planes that are supposed to stay in the air in case something happens are still in the air. So that's comforting to know. Yay. At least they're protected if something happens. But yeah, I've got a lot of concerns about what is happening over in Europe right now. I don't believe that we should actually be involved in any of that that's happening. Russia is definitely preparing for some type of actual one-on-one physical altercation. And China, man, I feel like China is basically like this sleeping dragon at the moment where they're just going to sit back and watch what happens. But at the same time, I think in their eyes, they're just going to sit back and just kind of like shift into a position of power. I think they're going to let everybody else do the fighting, and I think they're just going to take Taiwan when the poop hits the fan, and we're not going to have anything to say about it. So that's kind of where I'm leaning to now. I think they're looking to see what exactly happens between the US and Russia. And if that blows up like they're expecting it to, that's when they'll just move in because we're too busy being heavily distracted on 5 freaking corners of the planet. Like, we're still in Syria. And now we're fighting Iran and Syria. So again, that's another person that's another place that we're getting involved in, and we don't have the money, the resources, the capability of fighting a war on, let's see here, Syria, Iran, North Korea, Russia, Ukraine, five fronts already, and who knows what the hell's going on down in South America. But anyways, that's about it for me today. I don't have any other articles or anything else going on, so calling it a day. I've got other things to do. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and I will continue to bring you the news, good or bad or funny. I really enjoyed the Afro Man article today. Didn't realize that was a recent thing, but I guess it was. So keep on typing.